Tony Michaels, President and CEO of the Parade Company, and we cannot thank you enough. Our float drivers are the best there is. And as you know, we've made a big change. From now on, all floats are going to be driven by a Ford F-150 or 250. There's no more riding inside of the float forever. We are done with that. So we're going to be doing everything necessary to make this the best we can. We're working together with the Detroit Police Department and the City of Detroit on every aspect of this parade. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And we're going to do something that this country, this city are going to be very, very proud of as we're broadcast not only here in Detroit and the state of Michigan, but in 185 cities across America, showing them how great Detroit does things. So America's Thanksgiving Parade, presented by Gardner White, is ready to go thanks to you.
All right, let's take a look at the picture and break down the 3 important jobs needed to help a float come down the parade route. The first position is a spotter. As a float spotter, you will help guide your assigned float down the parade route during the parade and back to the parade studio on parade day. The spotter usually walks in front of or alongside the float. Some of our floats are over 100 feet long, so it is important to remember that you will help your driver navigate wide turns and tight spots. You must be good with directions, comfortable on a handheld radio, and also able to walk the parade route. You must be available for rollout. The next position is a driver. New this year, all floats will be towed. You will drive a tow vehicle that pulls a float down the parade route. Drivers must be at least 18 years old and have a good driving record. Towing experience is a big plus. You must be available for rollout and available to drive your float back to the parade studio after the parade is over. The last position is an animator. Some of our floats have fun activations that spin or go up and down. As an animator, you will either manually operate or check motors on floats to activate those pieces on the float. Our talented artist will show you how to operate those pieces. Next, you will hear about radios and also hear about the hand signals for guiding the floats.
Hi everybody, we are the float captains for the parade. My name is Jim Grilla. This is my wife Michelle. We've been doing this for about 25 years, so we know a little bit about the floats. My thing today is to let you know about the radios. Okay? The radios are very, very important. A lot more is going to be going on. Some of the radios are going to change from when we roll out, which they'll explain to you, and during the parade itself. Okay? You are going to have a radio, and you are a driver in the radio. It's the way to make communication with your driver and your spotter. A spotter is a person that actually walks around the float a truck or a tow vehicle will be up here. The driver of the truck will have the radio, and the spotter, sometimes there's 2 or 3, will also have a radio. This radio is very important because it also gets hold of me, since we have 25 of these, and I go up and down the route with the radios, make sure that you are fully charged, make sure you know my number. If anything happens, let's say you get a flat tire, let's say whatever, okay? You contact me directly. Right where you're on, you can contact on your radio, call me, and I will be out there. If I can't get out there right away, we will have a mechanic or something to come by. If there's any issues you have, you can do that. Also, they are paired to each other. Since we have 25 floats, you're going to have one paired for your float, so you can't just change it back and forth. Once you're assigned to a radio, which is assigned on the day, hang on to that radio unless you're pulled off for something else, but you leave that radio then with the person that's driving the vehicle. It stays with the vehicle. Otherwise, we get all mismatched and nobody knows where anything's at. One of the things you're going to have to understand is sometimes your radios go out. And then you go, what the heck do I do now? Larry, the other captain, is going to be showing you, and his son is going to be showing you, his son Jeff, is going to be showing you some of the hand signals that are very important this year because of just where we are located. I think that's really about it with the radios. And then I've got Michelle, my wife, will be able to say a lot more than me.
One thing on the radios is just that we noticed people get really excited and they tend to want to yell. We can't hear you if you're yelling over the radio. So you can speak loud if there's music or anything, but don't yell. The other thing is, don't start talking as you're pushing the button in. You have to push the button in, wait a couple seconds, and then talk. Because if you start talking when you push the button in, we don't hear anything you say at the beginning. So when you're using a radio, push the button in, wait a couple seconds, and then start talking.
I said one thing I forgot. Very important. When you're on your radio and you're talking to either your spotter or him, don't just hold the button in and you talk. Don't leave a big void. Continuously talk. In other words, wait a few seconds or for half a minute or 30, whatever you think when you're working, to say, okay, you're doing fine. Okay, what's happening? So that you're always in communication with your driver and your spotter. Very important, because if they don't hear anything, they don't know what's going on. You have to constantly talk to them. Not verbiage, but yes, you're doing fine. Yes, you're doing good. Turn left, turn right. Look good. That's the whole idea of the radios.
That's all. We're looking forward to a
Thank
great
you.
parade.
Now we have Larry and Jeff.
My name is Larry Schramm, and I've been with the parade company working about 25 years, doing on the floats and stuff. I've worked with Jim and his wife, Michelle, for that many years. And currently I've had my son with me.
I'm Jeff Schramm. I've been with the parade company about 14 years, I want to say.
Today I would like to show you the hand signals and how important they are to do that. You'll be driving a vehicle that's going to be towing a float, and it's really important to understand what the spacing is, because these floats are not like a regular trailer that you might be driving down the road. They're going to be about 2 to 3 times as wide. It's very important that you take and listen to whoever's spotting for you, and that you take wide turns. So with that, I'll let Jeff talk about the gloves and the basic hand signals, which are very, very important.
So on parade day, everybody will have a pair of gloves, all the spotters. They're bright orange. They're going to help you like accentuate your hand movements and show the driver where you need to go. The basic ones you need to know are going to be this way. So other way. You're going to have stop, slow down, and keep going. Those are the basic hand movements. You do want to keep in mind that you might be walking backwards while talking to your driver over the radio. And if you're doing that and you're telling them left, that's going to be the driver's right. So you want to make sure that you're keeping that in mind. So you might need to tell them right, slow, right, while you're actually talking about your left. It can get a little bit confusing, so try to keep that in mind when you're going down the parade route. Another thing you really need to look out for is some of the floats can be a bit taller. You want to make sure that there's nothing above that could potentially interfere with the top of the float.
And some of going on with the top of the floats, because they're so tall, you'll have the art staff will be coming and helping to reduce some of the size. They'll move some of those pieces down in order to get under things like the people movers, some of the lines. So be careful and listen to not only your spotter, but whoever is along that area where they're going to be making adjustments to the float. It's very important. The last thing you want to do is rip out a bunch of the float or take down telephone, electric lines, or stop lights and things like that. Driving from the parade studio down to the parade, and then on parade day bringing them back. It's important to keep looking up, and try to follow the path of the float in front of you so that you do not hit any traffic lights or any other items that are in the road.
Hand signals are for because on parade day, so we need to make sure that we're using very prominent hand signals. You don't want to just be saying, this small hand signals. You want to make sure they're very visible from wherever you might be.